Welcome. In our last lesson, we applied a levels adjustment layer and we manually configured it. And there are many ways of applying levels and curves. But whatever works for you, which one produces the best photo is the one that you should use. And the different ones apply for different pictures. All right. In the last lesson, we applied a levels adjustment layer, which is basically this lightweight layer, mathematics basically, on top of the layer. It doesn't destroy any image data. It sits atop the layer and it doesn't add to the file size. So anytime you want to use an adjustment layer, use it. It also comes with a filter where you can hide the effect. So maybe I wanted to apply this level command to half this image, then I can just come into my filter and paint black to hide it and only show the levels part on the top layer. That's just another option which makes it nice. Now in our adjustment panel we have some options here. We have the trash, which means to get rid of it. This is to go back to the previous command or restore the adjustments. This is to hide it the before and after. This is to turn off the visibility of the layer. Same thing as going over here and clicking on the eyeball. This here clips the layer. Basically means it's only going to affect this layer if there are other layers below it. And this is to expand the view and then to go back to the adjustments panel. So we're not worried about that. We're going to click this little icon right here, which will reset it. You'll notice that everything is reset. Now we manually configured this in the last lesson, but we forgot about these nice little eyedroppers over here. So let's maybe use them. On top is a black point and a midpoint and the highlight point. So let's go in order that these are shown. So let's go ahead and click on a black point. Let's use our info panel and move this over. And this means we're going to move our cursor in the image that we think is black. Now that's the point. We think is black. Now but it's tricky. It's black with detail, not pure black. Black with detail. So let's say, I don't know, let's click on one of these windows. Okay, that's definitely too dark. But we still have, next we'll click on the highlight. So let's click on the highlight and we'll say that it's the snow over here. Okay, and then we'll click on the midtone. And the midtone is probably right about here. Okay, now you'll notice that my image is definitely wrong. Probably because the shadow was not the correct area. So I can come back in here and just click on another area that I thought was the shadow part. Okay, and as you can see by clicking on these eyedroppers, I'm guesstimating where they should go, and that's not a good idea. So is there a way that can help me out with this? Oh, actually there is. Okay, so let me go ahead and reset this. And what usually people will do is there's two ways. You can actually use this way here. They'll add a threshold layer. Alright. Then they'll move this all the way to the left. They're going to bring up the color sampler. Okay. And they'll go in order. Okay. So they're going to go maybe shadow, highlights, midtones. Or they'll just go shadow and highlights. Or they'll go highlights and shadows. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So we're going to move this to the right. And as soon as we start seeing data right there, okay, we're going to go over here with our color sampler point and maybe apply it right here and just click. And this will be your shadow point. And then we'll move this slider all the way to the right and we'll start moving it to the left until we start seeing, oh, right there. And then you just apply a point with your color sampler point. And now you go over to the threshold layer and you drag it to the trash icon and that will get rid of it. So what did that do? Well, the threshold says, hey, now I know where your dark point and your highlight point is going to be. So now you can come over to these eyedroppers and click on each one. So remember, 1 was the shadow and 2 was the highlight. And then to me, 3, you can click on the eyedropper, but I probably would just come over to the image and brighten it up a little, eyeball it instead of using the eyedropper. Okay, and we'll see the before and after. So remember, this is the cursor for before and after. So before, after, not too bad. And as we can see here with the highlight, as I move over here, see, this is when you apply a color sampler point, it's going to lay a point number 1 and point number 2 was the highlights. So the shadow says this is what it's before, this is what it's now. See? And this is what it was before with the highlights, and this is what it is now. It neutralized it. Neutralized it means it's all the same numbers basically. Be careful when you're in an image. When you're neutralizing Highlights, make sure it's not supposed to be a bright, like a specular highlight in a car, the nice beautiful shine that you see in a car. That's supposed to be pure white. So be careful what you click on because that can affect it too. But the great thing is you have the opportunity um, to adjust and move around. And I'm going to show you another method in the next lesson which you can use for levels. And all of these methods that we've used apply for curves, which you'll see in another lesson.